Welcome, one and all. This is the Peace Dealer, the vessel of Saturn and Kronos itself, but also Neptune and Uranus. But regardless, welcome to another relevant installment of Transit Talk, where I can finally breathe a sigh of relief. The filler is finally over. And it's time. In case you are not aware, Capricorn rules the energy of time. And this time is ready to move forward. It's like some arrogant higher deity decided to just slow down the flow of time. So while in your awareness, it may have seemed like time was speeding up, there's a whole lot of karma that's just been halted. And you may have felt that you were hitting a brick wall in some aspect of your life that had something to do with you actually really moving forward. Yeah, there have been developments in other parts of your life, but not really in the sense that it's anything you couldn't have already gotten. Filler! That's because it wasn't really anything. Regardless, you'll find that the stuff that really was something in the form of attributes and behaviors you have picked up in your life to embrace and move forward with will just so greatly knock you off your ass. You'll forget that you literally did go through a whole 8 years realizing how impactful you really are in relationships with others. That was the whole 2010 Saturn in Libra lesson, so that now that it's in Capricorn, you have finally shed bad behaviors, connections, and beliefs that you can now make decisions on. As such, look at 2009 and 2017 as a heavy phase of experimentation where you had no choice to experience certain things, have certain qualities of soul, just so you could experiment with all different possibilities. All right. Pisces and Sagittarius is all about exploring the possibilities in very strange and nebulous ways that bring out things that you know aren't necessarily true, but also things that you would have never believed were true unless you saw them, and can really be amazed by how your mind is stretched. You had to go through this experimentation so that now you make the decisions that you are going to make right now. This will incorporate the experience you've had. So you're not just making a decision. A lot of you may have found that a lot of stuff you try to do, Saturn and Saturn was just blocking you outright, blocking the hoop Matumbo style. Now, when you make that shot, Saturn isn't even going to try and block you. It's just going to be like, here you go. It is time, because there's a time and a place for everything. All right. If you are a Capricorn moon, Saturn is coming for you. All right. Shout out to the Capricorn sons watching this. You're going to have a lot of power bestowed and yada, yada. You know what I mean? Yada, yada, talk, blah, 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 info jargon. The Saturn and Capricorns, you're going to have your Saturn return. But you Capricorn moons, Saturn is coming to reap your soul. And I'm telling this message specifically to you because you Capricorn moons and you Capricorn Venuses have had to deal with the heavy melancholy of really being in a position to just kind of cut yourself off. I know you feel dead inside. It hasn't really been easy to deal with this intensity as far as really gauging what is even worth investing your time in. And if you're a Cancer moon or a Cancer Venus, this message is doubly so for you, because what's going to happen is now that you're in this dark place and Saturn's here, it's just going to be this voice that's ever urging you, hey, you know, forget the power of love. I can give you the power of control. Just give me your soul. Now, unless you have already a contract like this, like me, like I was born with Saturn taking my soul. So, I don't have to really, when Saturn comes back, it's like, hey, I'm back to take what I already have. But for some of you, you may not want to do this deal. So when Saturn comes, make sure you curve Saturn. Yes, the boss. Other than that, welcome to a new age of decision making. Yes, you indecisive Libras and Sagittariuses. Yes, that means you have to actually make a decision. Yes, I know you guys like this experimentation phase because it's like, yes, I can entertain possibilities. Now you actually have to choose. Ooh, I wish I was a fly on the wall. Libra is just going to low key be like, what? I have to make a decision? Really? Even though you've been wanting to for years. And you too, Sag. You ain't even gonna know what to do. It's gonna be funny to watch you. But it's all good. All right. This decision making is brought in part by the heavy experimentation that had to have been done once again. So it's not like most of you are not going to know what to decide. That has never been the issue. It's just really moving forward with it, whether you want it or not. All right. This is going to honestly be heaven for earth signs because they've been waiting. And the best analogy that I had about this is Saturn and Sagittarius was a relay race. Okay. We started this relay race with the fixed signs when we had Saturn in Scorpio and Taurus and Leo and Aquarius got off their thrones somehow, and they started this off. Technically, it's the cardinal signs that start this off at Libra, but with this analogy, they passed the baton to the mutable signs, and like the cardinal signs are waiting to catch the baton. And, Saturn was in Sagittarius, squaring at one point Jupiter in Virgo and Neptune in Pisces. So the mutable signs were supposed to just come through, but you had Gemini and Pisces just running off course like, wee, oh yes, oh. And then like Virgo was trying its best. Every time Virgo, would pass and dodge the stuff, it would just get picked up. Damn, like Virgo couldn't even finish the race. Like Gemini and Pisces weren't even trying to finish the race. They were just going Neptune like, wee, screw the rules, forget the race. Pisces was just all whispering to Gemini like, this race is just some kind of organized attempt to control us. And Gemini's like, woo, I don't really care because I can have fun. Virgo was sincerely trying to finish its race. Virgo and Sagittarius trying to finish this race like, all right, it's all good. Because Sagittarius is competitive and Virgo be goddamn if they don't finish something. But Saturn was just like, pew, pew, sniping them away. And then they would literally have to go through ordeals that would take 6 weeks away from their goals. And Capricorn and Aries are just like, oh my God. Libra and Cancer, they're not even tripping. Libra and Cancer are just sipping on some tea, like having a discussion like, well, Gemini and Pisces, we're not going to depend on anymore. They're going to have their own life. So, finally, Saturn's and Capricorn, the baton's being passed. Cancer, Libra, you're going to have to wait a while because, Gemini, Pisces is still on a whole other world. But it is what it is. We'll catch up. Maybe never. But the decision-making you'll be making, get it? That was such a bad joke. The decision-making that we'll be incurring will have a lot to do with the power of your intent as true colors are revealed. You see, Saturn in Capricorn is going to provide such a very powerful element of structure and force deriving from the power of your integrity and your intent, where who you are opens doors for you because you actually are who you say you are. As such, for people who aren't who they say they are, frauds are going to be revealed bad. This isn't to say that there won't be accusations, but for any of you who receive false accusations, this is one of your best opportunities because you have integrity, you don't have to worry about any false accusations. You can actually use those to prove you have integrity, because you can just use receipts and or just kind of stand up for your goddamn self, which you definitely will have to do more than ever. But despite all this actual positivity that will come, because the confusion we had while Saturn was squaring Neptune will not be evident. Now Saturn is going to be sextiling Neptune and Jupiter. So the intent you have, you're no longer doing things and wondering, did this really magically happen? When I prayed, did this happen? Now Saturn's in Capricorn, it's sextiling Neptune, it's sextiling Jupiter. So you're praying, and now you know that, oh, this is what it's doing, and you're taking action based off that. It's applied faith. Saturn Capricorn is applied belief in action, where you move mountains for real. You either do or not, because you either believe in yourself or not. We're not having these discussions on, you better believe in yourself. Like, that's so 2016. If you don't believe in yourself by now, then you need to get out the way and make room for the winners. Because Saturn and Capricorn only cares about those who really want to succeed. No more sulk stories, all right? No more excuses, nothing. Like, you're either going to succeed or not. And you better not be a loser, especially if you tune into this channel. I make sure I give you the tools to be a stone cold winner, okay? Now, despite all this, I need you to understand, for the next 2 years, the dark side, whatever that means to you, is getting a serious W. And light in the spirits of a lot of people around the world will be snuffed. We're not going to come back into the new age of light until 2021, which will cite and incite a dawn of a new revolution in 2025. So for those of you who care about the World War Zero aspect, the reason why I say for those of you who care is because, I'm sorry, ultimately, whether you want to attribute it to brainwashing globally done by higher extraterrestrial beings that just know how to beam frequencies down and just, keep us docile, or whether you want to attribute it to the conflicting opinions that people have, there's a lot of people who don't care about this light versus dark thing. The whole notion of expressing one's truth and standing up for fairness and justice, if you give enough people the security and the stability they need that this transit will do, they're going to shut up about a whole lot of stuff. I want you to think about a revolutionary leader who fights the system and actually finally gets the system in a vulnerable spot. Saturn in Capricorn is the dark side catching a W, where Saturn's like, hey, you know what? We don't have to do this revolution. What is it you wanted? You wanted us to respect you? You wanted us to acknowledge you? Fine. We're going to include you in what we have. Don't worry. We're gonna have integration. All right. Don't worry. We're gonna come to a compromise. But that real revolutionary knows that they can't compromise. They have to destroy the system. They have to actually, they know that, number one, they know that the people who are saying that are lying, and they're just saying that because they're in a compromising position. But then what happens? The people who are fighting are like, we've been fighting this war. We've lost so many people. This is our shimmering hope of victory. Like, let's take this offer. And now you're going to have people conflicted. Like, no, this is not true victory. This is a cop out. There's going to be a global cop out, where a whole lot of people who you feel, there's not a lot of people who authentically do spirituality. I'm sorry. Some people just want to make money and be famous doing this. I'm not going to lie. I have been able to make a living doing this, but that has never been my original intent. Even when I was making videos earlier, I do have Earth, so you will see me implement business strategies. And I feel like there's nothing wrong with the fact that I market myself, but I will keep it 100% honest with you. If something happens and I am no longer able to make money with this, and this is no longer profitable, I am still going to make a video every week. I'm still going to do horoscopes every week because this is my destiny. The living I'm making with this is just an added bonus, and it only reflects the belief you all have in me. And this is what I'm going to use to give all the way back to you. You're not going to see me, wasting a lot of the resources and love that you give on frivolous stuff, because this is a part of my life purpose. Unfortunately, though, not a lot of people see this in the same way, and stuff like this is just a way to come up. You're going to see during this transit a lot of people come into how, hey, something like this is profitable. Hey, these psychic abilities I'm awakening can actually, you know what I'm saying, make me very popular. And a lot of people's true colors are going to be revealed, because what does Capricorn really show? The integrity of one's intent. What are you really doing this for? What truly motivates you? And unfortunately, some people who do this, or most people who really do this, they are not really doing this for the people. And they're not not that it has to only be for the people, but they're not really genuine. Now, do they have to be genuine? No. Actually, believe it or not, we have this crazy idea that everyone has to be spiritual, everyone has to be good. We're stuck in this age, we're leaving the age of Pisces, so idealism has to be replaced with objective thought. Unfortunately, some people are born to be evil. Like, this is just the nature of balance. You have counteracting forces. There's no fate that governs this outside of the environment you're born in. Some people just have impure spirits. And if anything, some people have deity connects where they reincarnate. This is just other abstract talk. But when it comes to the authenticity and the genuineness of this path, and really, dealing with people who do this, what you're going to see are people who cop out when it comes to speaking the truth. And somebody had sent me an amazing video about the second episode of Black Mirror. And she said she felt this was kind of like an equivalent to that in some way, where, and I could see the parallel. And in that episode, it was about this guy who was in this futuristic society where you work for merit points, and you got to see his life there. He fell in love, obviously, and then he saw the system take his love interest, and then he decided to care and do something sensational. He went to the opportunity to break out in the equivalent of America's Got Talent, and after doing his routine, he threatened to kill himself. This is like 29 degrees Saturn in Sagittarius. And then he spoke his piece, and he spoke the raw truth. And then, of course, you know what I'm saying, the three judges cheer. They were like, wow, that was so raw. You really did break down the truth. And everyone's like, wow. And the guy was like, after the judges said their piece, the guy was like, you know what? How about instead of killing yourself, I give you a piece where you can be successful, and you'll be on my podcast for 3 days a week. And the dude cops out. He just ends up having a podcast where he's like, I'll kill myself. And then he says the truth, and he spits the raw truth. And then it's like, but maybe I'll do it next time. And he cops out. He basically sells out and just becomes a part of the system. All right. And no one is really telling you to throw everything away and be a revolutionary, but you don't want to. You will actually have to make a decision where you cop out and compromise from your truth just so you can gain stability or not. Because let me tell you something. When you're looking down in the face of thousands of other people who want you to bend to a norm or forever be labeled as different or weird, it's very, 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 very hard not to bend into peer pressure. So I'm telling you this right now. The dark side's going to catch a W, because unfortunately, guys, most people are fake. It's not up to me to judge, but it is up to me to tell the truth. Regardless of how you feel about fake air signs too. which it is what it is. But most people are fake. Most people aren't who they say they are. And what Saturn and Capricorn is going to really test is, who are you when you get the security you want? Who are you when you do get what you want? Are the ideals and beliefs that you had, do they suddenly not matter when you have comfort and luxury? And this is going to reveal a lot of true colors. You're going to see a lot of woke people kind of not care anymore when they get the attention they wanted and they get the popularity they wanted. And now that they're in higher positions of power, they're not going to speak up about important issues that they did before, because they don't want to compromise what they have. A lot of people are going to be revealed. And it may not necessarily be a bad thing, the whole facet of exposure, but it's still going to show who's real and who's fake. And that's that. But don't worry, it's not that you get a reward for being real. It's never about a reward. I'm saying this for those of you who are authentic, for those of you who really seek genuinity. It's going to be so much harder to find, but that doesn't matter, because it's supposed to start with you. And the victory of this dark side is very evident in a lot of the sneaky ways people get away with psychological manipulation. It's going to be pretty dark. I'm not going to lie. The subtle manipulation is going to finally reach its peak. And for those of you who have done the spiritual work to really draw your boundaries, you won't be influenced because you believe in yourself and you trust yourself. That's all you're going to have moving forward. All right. You have to go through obstacles instead of around them. And you owe it to yourself to tackle them head on. So what this will illustrate is, because Pluto's involved, there's a neurolinguistic programming technique that I'd like you to utilize that is called anchoring. And it's going to involve getting yourself in a meditative state and allowing yourself to feel into what makes you really happy, and go back to a time where you felt exhilarated. What you want to do is, when you reach that peak, you do something like squeeze your ear or you squeeze your hand. And what you're doing is you're anchoring that sensation to the action. You will then charge this, okay? And as you charge this over and over, you'll get to a point that whenever you squeeze it, what's going to happen? You fire off that feeling. That whole notion is the definition of earth water, where your feelings are anchored through your physical sensations. As such, there have been neurolinguistic programs you've had since birth that you do, that you now have to be more aware of reconstructing, so that, for example, if when you're nervous and you tend to start scratching your arm or fidgeting, you have to be aware of it and change it. The first technique I want to give it to you outside of anchoring will also consist of, whenever you're dealt with an obstacle and an emotional roadblock that you have to go through, instead of, and you're gonna have a lot of these, but this will help you so much. Instead of actually running away from it, what you want to do is to embrace the emotional sensitivities. If you find that your buttons are getting pushed, this is good. Do not run away from that dynamic. And also, on top of that, when you feel this negative emotion, take that anchored feeling and smash through it. I have a Mars in Aries, so I beat the crap out of my negative emotions. I just be like, well, this is what I'm going to start doing. It's my new decision. I wasn't sure if I was allowed to do this because Saturn was in Sag. So I was just experimenting with, like, okay, all right, well, maybe I shouldn't beat the crap out of my feelings, because that's just not nice. And not my feelings, my negative feelings, because that's just not nice. And after, careful deliberation and consideration, which Saturn and Scorpio was when it's like, oh, this is what I decide to do. But then Saturn and Sag is like, hold on, we need to deliberate. We need to make sure, experiment, test, put you in different scenarios where you do it. How do you feel? Did you like it? Let's do it again. All right, do you like it now? And then, of course, we had Jupiter and Virgo pitching and stuff like, if you do this, it'll perfect your technique. And then, of course, Jupiter was in Libra, so you were actually directly testing, like, let me do this right here. Ooh, I don't like how they reacted. Okay, let me change some stuff. And now it's in Capricorn, guys. Like, you're making decisions. Now it's like, all right, I know you gave me this advice, but I don't need your advice anymore. I'm making a decision. If you have a Mars in Aries, or if you would just like to join me, I'm gonna beat the living crap out of any negative emotions. Like when you feel, it's the first technique, okay? When you feel any negative feelings get projected at you, all right, I'm just gonna be like, get out of here. It's going to feel a great release. And I have Mars in the 12th, so I'm okay looking psychotic, just punching stuff randomly, even though they represent this actually works because you're doing something about it. Okay. Now, if you have a Mars in Libra, you might not have to get all savage like me. Mars in Libra has a very good way of saying smart quips that'll just, make these dark vibrations feel stupid for even trying you. And you can do that. You can also be compassionate and just like resolve your emotions in ways that acknowledge your sensitivities and also release them in good, positive ways. But that's boring. I'm going to beat the crap out of my negative feelings. Whenever I have a negative doubt, whenever I have a negative emotion, I'm going to take that anchored feeling and beat the crap out of it. And I invite you to do that too. It's going to be fun for you fire signs. You can get your hammer, be like, and listen, what you want to do is when that feeling arises, you want to feel it. Don't run away from it. When any such insecurities come through, when any such feelings arise that make you feel less than the greatness you are, you want to project it, give it shapeless form, and then beat the crap. Now, mild side effects include feeling a little bit psychotic. Some of you may feel crazy that you're just flailing around and beating the crap out of unseen vibrational entities in the form of your own emotions. But make sure that when you're beating the crap out of these negative feelings, you're doing it with love in your heart, because you're not a savage and you're an alchemist. And this is just a new age way of transmutating feelings that you don't deserve to have. Okay? So whether that also be a person, you can also beat the crap out of people and just say you were beating the bad demons out of them. If they're real good friends, they'll understand that they shouldn't have brought that negative juju around you. Okay? Now, I don't want some of you to get a battery and assault charge, so don't beat people up unless you're really about that life. But anyway, once again, know that the decisions you make moving forward will define you. You are allowed to do certain things and make certain mistakes. You're not allowed to do so now. Okay, now, excuse my language. I am about to drop an F-bomb in a couple of seconds. And I have to say this because for those of you who have been getting gaslighted, for those of you who've been getting psychologically and psychically gang-stalked, just know that the advanced mindfuckery and coerced denial is only going to increase, because a lot of this was instituted by Pluto in Capricorn. What I'm about to say, you're not going to hear anywhere else. So you need to listen to me, because you're not crazy and you are not in denial the way that certain influences may make you feel, especially if you've been engaging in dangerous telepathic communication subconsciously, where you're just trading thoughts with people who react to how you feel, and you feel this impulse as certain feelings or thoughts in your consciousness. This is advanced mindfuckery. See, I am a Gemini, so I love mindfucking people. So I know, Geminis know when we're being, and other people are being mindfucked. All right, I'm just letting you know this. I'm talking from experience. When you make mistakes, there is a way that people can use the mistakes you make and embellish them to turn things around like you are the one at fault. And you were not aware, you were not the most aware of this subtle manipulative dynamic because Neptune and Pisces was hiding while it was squaring Saturn and Sag. You will be aware of this dynamic now as Saturn goes into Capricorn. And it's not really in an effort to where you have to call it out, but just be mindful of it and don't let it actually get to you anymore. All right? Some of you have made mistakes. Some of you have tripped up, but some of you are allowing the way people take certain mistakes that aren't really mistakes, as you'll see, and lording that over you, like certain things you did were your fault, is literally the equivalent in some ways of saying that someone deserved to be sexually abused because they were asking for it. And you don't deserve that kind of manipulation. And no, you didn't deserve whatever led to any kind of mistake that happened. Or that was a bad analogy because then it makes it look like whatever that person did was their mistake, and it's not. But regardless, you don't want to get and fall into the trap about people or influences who have a higher awareness of your situation but want to manipulate you. Let me give you another analogy. Saturn in Sagittarius, you may have been dealing with intuitions or people who saw at a higher vantage point than you. But it's like they saw through a brick wall because they were tall enough, but you weren't tall enough. So you had to ask this person, hey, what do you see? And this person will take this, and it's not a specific person, this is analogy, but you could deal with people who take advantage of the fact that you don't know what you're seeing, and they have taken things that you've done, twisted it to make it look like it's your fault. Some of you, you get this in signs, so it may be vibrationally too. You can't trust every synchronicity you see. Discernment's coming now. So it's like now that Saturn's in Capricorn and you're going to now see and peer over it, you're going to find out, whoa, my vision of this is totally different than what I've been being told. Do not be coerced into feeling like you're in denial and that you have to hold your head down and apologize. All right. You are also guided by the universe. You also have a higher mind. You have to stand up for some decisions you have made, no matter how weird or strange they seem to others. You are no one's guinea pig and you're no one's puppet. Some of you are dealing with people who want to blame you for not being patient enough for things, or want to blame you for being the reason that things have been delayed, but they're trying to have their cake and eat it too, where they don't have to be in your life when you're going through your struggle, but now that you're going through celebration, they can be in your life. And I'm not just talking personally to me, because there's not a lot of people in my life that I really even know like that. I'm talking about trends and what you personally may be going through. And you cannot, under any circumstance moving forward, allow such petty manipulation to even get you down. And you do this by knowing you are not crazy, you are not weird, you are not different from making authentic, original decisions that define you and not what everyone else thinks is right to do. People are still stuck in that old world. They don't even know who they are, because they just want to do things to be accepted by a general society and culture that's going to talk about them behind their back after they leave. People literally die for this. Like, people have social anxiety for that. It's amazing, but it's sad. And for those of you who are really authentically working for your own progress, Saturn Capricorn is ready to give it to you. All that dark side winning stuff is temporary. Once it moves into Aquarius, we're dawning new light. We're entering a revolution. Okay. Also, the divine RPG is going to shift into attack mode. So people are going to really be playing their hands. People who have been building cases and gathering evidence, they're finally going to play their initial hands. And the first wave of counterattack begins as for magicians and celestials who are awakening. You're going to have people who try and come and find you, and it's their mission to get you. You'll even have some people saying how they may not have completed their mission before, while keeping cryptic enough to make you wonder, huh? Because trust me when I say, even me, I know it sounds funny, I can joke about it, but for me to tell you some of the stuff I tell you, I'm putting some of my life at risk. Like, there's certain things that I say and dynamics that reveal that aren't supposed to be made public, that I, as a Gemini, can just say real quick, and it'll just come off as a joke. But now I'm putting myself out there as someone who might have to be silenced, and I'm not the only one who's been feeling the influence of someone sensing their energy. You have to understand, my friends, who are few and far between, Saturn and Capricorn is where they make the executive orders to now contain you and capture you, because you represent a few minority of divergence. They've made movies about this, talking about how there's certain divergence or certain people who don't follow the norm. And the reason why you are a threat is because you see through the programming that's happening. You might want to, because they're going to be looking for you. But these are higher beings. Think about it this way. If I had to infiltrate an ant colony as a higher extraterrestrial being to find insurgents or people who can expose the manipulation I'm doing on that ant colony, I'd have to get into an avatar ant suit and look in that colony one by one. I'm gonna sense where the ant colony is, but I'm not gonna know who. So there are gonna be searches, all right, that will channel themselves through people. And this is not gonna make sense to a majority of you. It's gonna sound like I'm talking about BS. Good, I'm not talking to you. But for those of you listening, you know, many of you have come and approached me about this. So you know, and I'm not saying this so that you get afraid. I'm saying this so that you prepare for war. I'm prepared. I'm going to beat the crap out of these negative vibrational entities, because they will be gaining physical form now that the demon clan has revived, and Scorpio, inhabited by Jupiter, makes more real and corporeal these feelings and emotions and unseen subatomic particles that manifest themselves as entities or ghosts or spirits or vibrations that are projected and now take on a life of its own because of frequencies. And what other else reasons? I cannot tell you the full reasons because I don't really know. I'm just giving you as much as I can with my own limited 3D perception explain, so we can all put the answers together. But this divine RPG is shifting, where you're going to see Scorpios make their move. Sagittarius is going to randomly play their hand because Saturn isn't in their sign anymore, and they're going to do what they've been waiting to do for years, and it's going to surprise so many people. Some Sagittarius are going to be hitting up people randomly they didn't even know they were even ever going to hit up by, and just change their whole life. And then Capricorn has Saturn, so they're going to finally play their initial hand. Now listen to my special celestials and magicians who are going to be literally looked at by the Akatsuki. You're going to be invited by some people to do things, and your intuition will say, no, you better listen to that, because not everyone who you think is your friend is your friend. And before you know it, you'll get submitted to the government for testing like this. They'll throw you in Area 51, and they're going to say you had some kind of overdose, and you won't exist anymore. So you better, I hope this sounds like conspiracy, and it doesn't make sense to a lot, but things get really serious, okay? Things get really serious. For those of you who have Uranus, Neptune, or Saturn in Capricorn, know that Pluto, since 2008, going over these orbs, have activated this. If you were born 89, if you were born 90, or if you were even born a little bit before in 88, this is being triggered now. And if you were born 94, 93, you're going to have to wait closer to 2020. But Saturn will be activating the Neptune and Uranus, so where it was just awakened before, like you were feeling this extra energy, like, oh my God, I am so psychic. Oh my God. What? Whoa, oh my God. Yo, Joe, did you call me? I was just thinking about you. Wow, this is amazing. And then people who have like Uranus and Neptune and Sagittarius and Scorpio, who were born like, you know, early 80s are like, oh my God, been there, done that. Look at these little whippersnappers having their psychic experiences. Because Saturn went over their stuff, even though they were like that before. They want to act like it. And now Saturn's going to go here. So you're going to be like, oh my God, I had the synchronicity. Oh my God, I can control this. Oh, you're just going to be dancing. And it's going to be amazing because this is not no measly conjunction in Sagittarius and Scorpio, which is intense in its own right, but it's in Capricorn and it's the greatest. And this is what you've been waiting for because Saturn always makes you wait. But before I go crazy here, what you do becomes. And for my psychonauts, this next message is for you if you have a predominance of water in your chart. But even if you don't, Saturn in Sagittarius was experimenting with unique new ways to execute your beliefs and techniques to where you don't and let me give you my personal experience. I have stuffy noses rarely now because I believed in myself one day. And now, like, instead of having to use a nose spray or take antibiotics, and if you're part of the super empath generation, 88 to 91, where you have Jupiter and Chiron in Cancer and Saturn and Uranus and Neptune in Capricorn, I hope you're not going to the doctor anymore. I hope you believe in your own Reiki ability because it's real. And I mean, even if you don't have that, like, I hope you believe in your own self-healing ability. Some of you may be in positions where you can balance and use the advent of modern technology, but please believe in your spiritual ability. Like, there's so many people that are trying to make you feel crazy for it and just make it to something relegated to entertainment when it is very real. I have not ever since 2000. When did I move here? 2016, the beginning, when I believed in myself and I had a selenite wand, and I was just like, yo, like, I don't even really, I thought Reiki was real, but I didn't really believe in it enough through my actions. This is that kind of transit where, yeah, you believe in whatever, but what do your actions prove you believe? Now I'm gonna make techniques, and you can make techniques too. You want to utilize this Neptune sextile by not wasting it on wondering whether what you're doing, like setting intentions or ceremonies, work. There's a certainty as Saturn entering Capricorn is initializing self-actualization. You have to give it up to Capricorn because Capricorns know who they are. Aries incarnates to discover who they are. Capricorn is born knowing who they are. And that's huge when you know who you are, when you're self-actualized as a child. All right. It's the bee's knees. Aquarius and Pisces have this on even higher levels. So Saturn is helping you really master yourself throughout the next 2 years. And as such, you should never give up on yourself. Let me tell you what's going to happen. There are going to be attacks on your character, and you, in some cases, may feel or be in positions where you're depressed, which has been happening every year, but this is going to be a lot more intense where you're having to really map out whether what you feel is successful versus what other people feel is successful is truly important for you or not. Don't give up on yourself. I don't care. I don't give a damn how much anyone else is trying to make you feel like a loser, because you watching this right now are achieving things that while they're busy judging you, they don't even know the impact of what you're doing. You watching this, you who is as unique as a snowflake, you personally are groundbreaking new realms of thought, being an expression that is allowing you to achieve success, which won't necessarily be respected until other people acknowledge it, which is not fair to some of you, but it doesn't matter because you don't need that kind of fake love anyway. All right. This is also going to allow you to appreciate the few in your life that are really helping you move forward. But it doesn't matter how much people want to give you the benefit, the doubt. Do not give up on yourself. And I'm asking you not to give up on yourself because no one's going to be like, oh, you suck, give up. You can deal with influences that take up stuff from your past and try and put it in your nose. Listen to me very clearly. And not everyone will agree with this, but it is what it is. It's up for you. I'm just a messenger. It's up for you to take it. You can literally take bits and pieces of what I say and apply what you want. There are certain things I say that'll be stupid to you. Just throw it in the trash. There's certain things I say that'll be helpful. Embrace it. Okay. You just stepped out of filler period. So this is establishing a brand new 7-year arc in your life to where once you step into Saturn and Aries, you've achieved the success you are meant to. And you're now building character on a whole new level because you're on a whole new platform. So you may have certain people bring up stuff you did back in 2009, back in 2014, that is not relevant to who you are now. That is not, you know what I'm saying? Anyone who has integrity is not going to bring up stuff from your past in an effort to undermine you, unless you are begging them to. So anyone who is an obstacle in your way that tries to bring stuff from your past, you don't have to acknowledge. If it's something from your past that you, of course, can personally admit you were wrong for, you still don't have to acknowledge. When this is brought to you, have integrity, admit where you were wrong, but do not give that other person power, and believe in yourself. This is very important so you can fight back against any psychological manipulation. Let me tell you something. For those of you who are actually children of light, for those of you who actually have substance in you, there's a lie. There's a huge lie that you've been faced with. And this lie was really believing that certain people who appear to have power actually have power. They don't. All right. Shout out to those people who have made a living taking advantage of social media platforms and becoming socialites. Some people actually, come from a struggle. Some people are authentic with this craft. The majority of the rest are just fake, and they fall into this fake lifestyle of trying to get attention and really just doing whatever they can to be popular and the next best thing. Even the cream that rises to the crop is trash. And that's just my Capricorn moon, I guess, being a Ebenezer Scrooge or old hater. But real people know there's a forsakenness of society that will be rectified as certain people stand up and show others how it's done. But you don't want to waste your time following the crowd. You want to really just believe in yourself and fight any mental attacks. People are a lot more telepathic. So when someone looks at your picture or when someone thinks about you and thinks something negatively, you're going to receive that as a thought. And that thought that you feel isolated and experience, you be going about your day, and now you feel, oh, you're not going to feel, oh, this person had a thought about me, unless you're like a Pisces or a Scorpio, you're super psychic. It's probably going to come as a thought where you're now contemplating, oh, I don't like how I do this. So some of you are getting real-time impressions about what certain people feel about you. And it's less about who exactly, but you're integrating and interacting with these influences. Some of you may think you're having internal dialogue, but you're having unconscious telepathic communication with others that are shaping the way of how you feel. As such, don't shy away from this, some of which is mental attack, some of which certain people know what they're doing. Okay, you need to fight back. Me, I'm gonna beat the crap out of negative emotions and energies. And honestly, anyone who sends mental projections back to me, I'm clapping back. Like I'm gonna start, I do light magic, I do dark magic. I do balance both. So the way I do, I will never project ill intent towards anybody. But the only time I will is if you send it to me, then I'm going to send it back to you. That's the only condition. I don't turn the other cheek. And I really recommend you don't either. Fight this back because you will not be a mental slave to anyone. And you owe it to yourself to have your own individuality, even if it's not polished. It doesn't have to be polished. You owe yourself the time to take as much time you need to polish it to your liking, but you shouldn't give up. Now, what's going to happen is the second level of shade wars is going to commence. Dun, 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 dun. All right, welcome, guys. Shade Wars is commencing. The first time Shade Wars commenced was 2014 when Saturn was transiting Scorpio, and people had all sorts of things to say, but God damn it, they never did want to say it to your face. I mean, of course, they can put themselves on high and mighty pedestals and criticize everyone but them. But would they ever say what they're criticizing to your face? No, they won't. But hey, guess what? We're on the second level of Shade Wars. And guess what this entails? Direct shade to your face, albeit in some indirect ways where some people try and be curt and think they're slick and try and like sideways compliment you. But any one of you who receives this, you now have to Uranus and Aries them and confront them about this. You should not accept any direct shade to your face. Respect them for saying it to your face, but respect them by counter-attacking. You don't do this whole, oh, ha, ha, ha. Like you cannot allow people to get comfortable with disrespecting you, because respect comes with Capricorn. Respect comes with Saturn here too. And these are little mini psychological fights, games, things that must be done to establish not only your being, but in this decade of realization that will happen from now until December 18th of 2018 will very greatly illustrate how much you're able to become the greatest version of you. That being said, in honor of Saturn and Capricorn, every time I do a live show, I'm going to give you homework. All right? So it's homework time, and there are 3 homeworks that I want you to do. The first homework is to write a book of techniques that show effects that happen and incorporate them into your lifestyle. Some of you have already done this, but what I mean by that is the experimentation you've done while Saturn was in Sagittarius, you're now ready to create an initial sense of techniques you can test for effectiveness, as far as how effective they work and how efficient they are. For example, in Saturn and Sagittarius, you may have been experimenting with the healing effects of your universal energy, drawing of universal energy, or with your desire and how certain spells manifest. Now you're creating a ritual which is a routine you do every day of techniques that you do, where maybe this is what you do every morning. You heal yourself every morning, and it's like instant heal no jutsu. Where Saturn and Sagittarius, it might have taken you 10 minutes to heal. Now it's a technique you do, and you measure effectiveness. You don't have to really take time because you aren't sure if it's working. You believe so much, and you are evolving the power of your belief. All right. I don't want to say experiment with this, but test it. And this could honestly, you want to create a book of this now. Some of you are going to you can call this a grimoire. It's going to be something that you write personal spells in, that you test, and you test for effectiveness. Okay. And for tonight, write at least one technique. It's really just a greater application of some of you who already have to-do lists and stuff that you already do, like working out or, praying. You just want to apply practical effectiveness to how you're going to apply this. The next homework that I have for you is to make an official set of rules that you're going to hold yourself accountable to, and you're all going to have other people hold themselves accountable to. And these rules are going to reflect things that are boundaries in your life. All right. Here's an example. Rule number 1, don't mess with me. Rule number 2, refer to rule number 1. Rule number 3, you guessed it, refer to rule number 2. Regardless of whatever rules you make sure that you enforce them. Okay? The next and final homework that I have for you that you will see immediate change with is the Saturn and Capricorn Manifesto. And we're going to do the last part of this before I pull cards for the super chat. For those of you who may or may have not, for those of you who have donated, which I deeply appreciate as usual, is to come up with a long-term goal and also come up with 7 short-term goals. So the long-term goal is, what is it that you will have manifested for yourself March of 2020, right before, March 18th, March 19th, right before Saturn shifts into Aquarius of 2020? Where are you? And then what are the 7 short-term goals you'll achieve before then? All right. The Saturn and Capricorn Manifesto, the first page of this, it's a book you want to get to that you'll make. The first page of this, you want to dedicate to the long-term goal and the 7+ short-term goals. If some of you have more than one long-term goal, you can do that too. And then the manifesto is every day or night, you are going to write what you're going to do on your to-do list to achieve the long and short-term goals. It's just kind of applying Saturn to your to-do list. So it's like, okay, everything you're going to commit to doing that day, you write beforehand or that day of, and you do this every day, Saturn and Capricorn. You'll be surprised how much you not only accomplish, but now you can go back at that book and literally be like, whoa, look what I accomplished. Damn, I didn't even remember I did all this. And it's definitely physically now giving you and others who need to know something to show for it. So I'm going to pull cards for each of the signs. There is a gift that Saturn is going to give you right now, and it's going to trigger tomorrow. It's going to trigger on the 22nd. No, I lied. Well, goddamn, Saturn, you take your goddamn time. It's going to trigger the 28th of December when Saturn is 1 degree. However, from now until the 28th, you personally, within like the next 2, 3, 24 hours, are going to manifest this gift. From now to the 28th, you're in the subspace emissary, harnessing this part of your power that's every bit impartial to do with you. And I have the Page of Cups. So it's going to be a new feeling. There's a new feeling associated with this power for how you ground it physically. Before I pull the cards, however, I do want you to really uncover, once again, the purpose of much of this energy that you're being gifted with. But before I'm gonna pull the cards for the zodiac signs as far as what you're going to manifest. And what this represents is an initial poof. It's like Saturn is going to give this to you now, so that by 2020, when Saturn comes back, it's going to be like, what have you done with what I have given you? Okay, so we're going to pull that. And before I pull the cards, on Friday, I will be doing my Mars webinar. And this is part 2 of the Love and Sex webinar series, part 2 of 3, where for Venus, we went really into how pleasure and love influences relationships and what your personal love language is. Now we're going to go into the sex part and look into the power of desire. Join me, because we're going to really uncover the power of Mars, and not only how Mars interacts in your chart, but also how Mars is in a much better position to highlight how the power of your desire can really bring positive things in your life. The value of getting this webinar is that many of you who felt your power was taken or blocked, you will know how to take your power back by understanding the power of your personal Mars position, and also understanding how your Mars position influences the way you desire things in life, as well as sexually express yourself. Whereas Venus is feminine sexuality expressed in a receptivity of sexual advances and a giving and receiving, Mars is the masculine expression of sexuality, which is brimming up that desire and fiercely taking it, feeling that sexual charisma and doing what it do and not stopping. So we're going to go through a little bit of the mythology. We're going to go in through the webinar and talk about how Mars influences you during transits, what it's like in the houses and signs, as well as certain synastry aspects and natal aspects. Before we do a Mars initiation to really help you feel into what your desire feels like and move forward with that. Also, on top of the twin flame and soulmate readings, a lot of you have ordered those. Thank you very much. I'm going to get to work on those, and I'm going to have a lot of fun doing them. So definitely stay tuned. For those of you who already ordered, thank you for your patience. I'm surely getting to them. Some of you aren't necessarily into the whole romance thing. So don't think that I'm forgetting about you. Some of you don't really care about your soulmate or having a soulmate, or you already have romance like figured out or dealt with. One moment. Or you're just not interested. Worry not. A more relevant service has been added, and I say more relevant because given this Saturn and Capricorn transit that we have, what's way more important than any soulmate relationships right now are career readings, where a lot of relationships will be aligned to your sense of career and where you're taking your life. As such, in the link below, just like I had the same format with the twin flame and soulmate, I also have career and finance readings. One's 11, the other's 9. I really recommend you get both for 20. Both of them are 10 card tarot spread readings, Celtic spreads, where I go into the state of your financial life and where you could take your career. In the career reading, the 10 cards will indicate different places that will show me areas to grow, what direction you should take. Are you currently in the right career for you? Versus the financial reading that will apply certain elements of your career, which is why it's good to get both together and give you a long-term and a short-term view of what the financial scope is looking for you. So for those of you who are interested in how much money you have versus what vocation you're doing, which to specify, finances are going to really indicate your liquid money flow, as we can go into any blockages energetically that are getting in the way of you doing so, and more importantly, your career that will help you kind of guide you in the right direction to where you want to go. So once again, links to those are in the descriptions below. They are on sale, so you can get both of them for $20. Holla. And yes, let us now draw the cards. Aries, Aries moon, Aries rising. The gift Saturn in Capricorn is going to give it to you before it tests, and it doesn't take it back, but before it kind of sees what you've done with it, is the sun. Sun, this is amazing. You're going to self actualize a lot of happiness and joy in your life. And you want to take this joy and cultivate it. You don't want to be at the end of Saturn in Capricorn depressed, because it's going to be like, yo, I gave you enlightenment and happiness. Yeah, it's difficult to maintain it, but where is it? All right. You want to take that happiness with you. And when Saturn in Capricorn is done, you show Saturn Capricorn, yo, I have a whole community and friends that are happy because I shared that light with them. All right. Taurus, Taurus moon, Taurus rising. The card that I have for you is the 10 of Wands. This is Saturn and Sagittarius. All the success, don't get it twisted. This is a, it may look challenging, but the 10 of Wands is the card of success. It's just success that comes with tackling all the responsibility on your own. It's success that comes with having a 40-hour work week and crushing through it. So after that 40-hour work week, it's like, whoo. So Saturn in Capricorn is just going to dump the success on you. But it's like, here's everything you ever wanted, but you got to pick up all these wands and work for it. So by the time Saturn is done in Capricorn, you can fail this mission by procrastinating your ass off. Or you can pass this mission by mashing out this work and being like, I handled all these wands. What's up? Okay. Gemini, Gemini rising, Gemini moon. The card that I have for you is the star. Golly. So Gemini, looks like the light's gonna dawn on you, and what's gonna manifest for you is a new hope, and not just a new hope. What's gonna manifest for you is an initial sense of your dreams. This is a miracle that'll happen for some of you, that by the time Saturn ends in Capricorn, it's like, okay, what have you done with this enlightenment or powers or belief? What have you been able to gain with this healing renewal? All right. You don't want to end this transit off a mess, because it'd be wasting an opportunity. But yeah, I'm so glad. This is awesome. Cancer, Cancer moon, Cancer rising. The card that we have for you is the Justice card. So Cancer, what Saturn and Capricorn is going to give to you is a rectification of everything. This is very important for you, Cancer, because some of you have had people talk salt on your name. Cancer, some of you have had people accuse you of stuff you haven't done. So the Justice card is not only your name being cleared, but everyone who's had bad karma against you, they're going to get their karma. So Cancer, this means that you have to walk a tightrope. Like, you have to make sure you're not only goody two shoes, but you're living according in integrity, because you don't want to end this transit off proving right some bad things people said to you. This is your chance to have a clean slate, and you can end it off just and right, to where the law and karma will be on your side. So work through your karma through your relationships. Leo, Leo moon, Leo rising. Hold on, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna be right back. Y'all thought I was playing. Hold on. Oh, snap. What? Y'all didn't know Team Petty Squad was winning? Y'all didn't know hashtag Team Petty Squad is winning? I told you. Okay, I shouldn't say petty because petty equals like insignificant, but screw all that. None of those negative words can work on princes and kings and queens and princesses. You didn't know hashtag Team Petty Squad is winning? Leo, come on down and accept this prize. Leo and Gemini, looks like Saturn and Capricorn might give you fame and notoriety, but it's less about the fame, it's less about the notoriety. It's more about this, wild dreams and passions being achieved. Looks like Gemini and Leo are finna come up. We gotta do this happy dance because I say we're also Team Petty Squad. Like, we're gonna instigate drama and we're gonna have the popcorn. It looks like we're gonna have a lot of fun doing it too. I see you, Leo. I see you, Leo. That's what it do. I had a dance for y'all. Virgo, Virgo rising, Virgo moon. The card I have for you is the Page of Pentacles. So what this illustrates, Virgo, is all the work you've done, it's finally going to manifest in something concrete. That's huge. It's still, okay, it's huge as far as you're going to elevate to the next level, but it's going to be small. It's going to be in the initial phases. This is the equivalent of getting cast on a TV show, but the TV show hasn't aired yet. You still need to sign contracts. You still need to get the script, but it's like, oh my gosh, I'm breaking through. So Virgo, this is an initial gift for you where you get this Page of Pentacles. It could be a loan, it could be an advance. And when Saturn finishes off in Capricorn, it's like, okay, do you still have this one talent, or are you a King of Pentacles? What have you done? So Virgo, this is great because the reason why it's great for Virgo is you can give Virgo like $1 million or $5. They can work with anything. So it's going to be dope, man. It's going to be dope, Virgo. Libra, Libra moon, Libra rising. The card we have for you is the Three of Cups. Increased partnerships and activity. But let me not play. I know you didn't get the star card like Gemini and Leo, but let's just be honest. You're part of the crew too, Libra. Come on down. Looks like you're gonna be celebrated because let's just be honest. Leo always has a Libra in their entourage. So yeah, you're gonna be celebrating with us too. All right, Libra, I see you. I see you. You're gonna have healthy friendships. Saturn and Capricorn's like, you know what, Libra? I've just seen you have so many fake friends. I'm gonna give you real friends. They're not gonna be a lot, but real friends. And you have, when Saturn's done with Capricorn, you can ruin that opportunity and be flaky and fake towards those friends, or you can be what they know you truly are, the best friend ever. And Saturn would just be like, wow, those are some happy friends I blessed you with. But it's also speaking of celebration and success, so you'll be accomplishing a lot, okay? Scorpio, Scorpio rising, Scorpio moon. Look at that. Some of you are going to find out you're pregnant with ideas. No, I'm just joking. Some of you are definitely going to find out that this is a card of wealth, by the way, wealth and abundance. So, Jupiter's in your sign. Saturn's going to make it rain on you. Okay. And you want to make sure that this harvest is not too much of a good thing. Because that's the only bad thing about the Empress, where, too much of a good thing is a bad thing. So make sure you're not indulging too much in the blessings you get, but you don't have to really show anything for this. This is the golden line where like other signs have to show forth. You just have to make sure whatever was given here is not wasted and it's appreciated. That's simple, because you already did the work with Saturn and Scorpio in your sign, so it is what it is. Sagittarius, the card that we have for you. The Page of Cups. Some of you may receive a proposal. Will you be my side piece? I mean, will you watch the last season of Supernatural? I mean, will you eat KFC with me? I mean, will you marry? Yes, you may receive a proposal, Sagittarius. Or this could be a proposal to do some crazy crap like you always like to do. And Saturn's not in your sign, so you're not really going to have that whole mean influence stopping you. But whatever new relationship, new loves, or new feelings have, it is going to extend through to Saturn and Aqua. So make sure you cultivate this. This is saying you're ready for love and you want to allow yourself to feel feelings again. Capricorn, Capricorn rising, Capricorn. We have the Six of Swords. And you know what? The Six of Swords is saying your ships are sailed. This is speaking of a positive future, and you're going to start this transit off with the resolution of all anxiety. Anyone that you might have had differences with, anyone that you've had arguments with, you're going to find that you're resolving that and you release that. You may find that certain people you've been arguing with for a while, you end up actually developing greater friendships with because that's resolved, and you can patch up stuff that might have blocked you. So you're sailing towards a positive future. Similar to Scorpio, there's really no way you could screw this up. The only way you could screw this up is by looking back to what you've sailed from, because there's going to be a lot of positive clarity. Like there's a lot of anxiety or clearing. So it's definitely going to be really positive. All right. But a lot of resolution of, because this is after the Five of Swords misunderstanding hatred card. And now it's like after a lot of beef and hatred, it's like both of you genuinely are like, you know what? You're cool. You're cool. Forget about this. We're cool. We're cool. When I see you, it's all cool. Aquarius, Aquarius moon, Aquarius rising. Oh, yes, the sword is being revealed. The sword of truth. The sword that you must take upon your destiny, Aquarius. That is what's going to be revealed. And as a bonus card, I have the star for you, too. This is my North Node, so this carries deep significance for my nerdy ass. Listen here, Aquarius. You're going to receive the Master Sword. And the end of this transit, you must complete your mission, because the sword you're getting is solely so that you can take this truth. You're going to come into the truth, the absolute truth that you're going to spread and use to fulfill your mission. And you know what that mission is, Aquarius. Aquarius rising, Aquarius moon. Sorry, I had a passionate moment right now. That was very significant for me, even though it wasn't really truly for me. But Pisces, Pisces moon, Pisces rising. We have the same card as Aries, the Sun card. And let's just be real. I got to dance for y'all too. You deserve this as well. All right. This is just so profound and extraordinary. Now, Pisces, you don't have to act like you're happy, because really you're dead inside and you've just had to deal with so much shenaniganery. It just really made you lose faith and hope in humanity all over again. And you already did that like 5 times. Oh, well, Saturn's going to give to you the sun, happiness and exuberance, real happiness. Like, no more fake smiles like you and Gemini have been doing to everyone. It's gonna be real now. It's gonna be real now. All right. Very awesome. Very clutch. Woo! And I'm gonna pull one more card for everybody. And the card that I have for everybody. Your old life is over. Your self-destructive tendencies and habits no longer serve you, and it's finished, and you will not be moving forward. I want you to take this King of Swords and slice through with the objectivity and coldness an Aquarius has whenever you ask them a question that they don't even want to answer. Or whenever you tell an Aquarius something that is a complete conspiracy and erroneous, and you're trying to make them believe in something that they know isn't true, and they just cut you off and talk to you for 2 hours about why you're wrong. Just whoosh. Anyway, thank you guys once again for joining in. We are initializing self-actualization. And the choice you have to engage in something romantic is definitely up to you. Make sure you apply the principles that have been spoken on, and you'll be good. Before I do the super chat, I would like to engage in a short, intentional ritual, we may say, which involves quite profoundly, how do I say, the implementation of your vision. So I want you to close your eyes, breathe in that good ass prana, and where do you see yourself March 20th? Or where do you see yourself March of 2020? March of 2020, right now, where do you see yourself? It could be a feeling, it could be a series of words that symbolizes a vision. Wherever you see yourself, I want you to build upon that as you do your homework, by the way. And with this homework that you'll do to make your long-term goals and your short-term goals, start now. What is the initial feel of this? Breathe that long-term goal in. Don't give yourself any time limits, but give yourself the, oh, I'm such a Gemini. Don't give yourself a time limit, but let me contradict myself here and say, give yourself the time limit of 2020 to where this goal is, you're going to achieve it. So if you don't achieve it, don't beat yourself up, but see that goal. And now every single action and decision you make moving forward is to reach that long-term goal. Make it count. Make it count. All right, y'all, I'm going to be pulling a super chat. Thank y'all so much again for viewing. Y'all stay blessed. I'm going to start with Glenn. Thank you for the Cash App donation. The card that I have for you is the Emperor. The Emperor, of course. Let me make sure this is working right. All right. The Emperor. Can we do it like this? Can we do it like this? I want to make sure the light's shining bright. Glenn, the Emperor is saying for you, you're going to gain a great level of financial stability and really just control. There's a strict element that Saturn and Capricorn is going to bring to your life. Bam, this is good. There's a strict element that Saturn and Cap will bring to your life that will require rigidity. That will require a certain rigidness and discipline, but you're going to find you have the authority and control over your life that you may have always been craving. Let's do this. Oh, no way. Yes. I just found a smart way to do something I was doing in a dumb way. All right. Moon Bay. Moon Bay. Moon Bay. I would like insight into connecting with my dad. I have the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is encouraging. Go on a roller coaster with him. Do something or go on a road trip. If you want to connect them, I would rather go on a road trip to an amusement park, to where anything that's stimulating movement, where you're both kind of traveling a distance, will actually alchemize energy, but in a really simplistic sense, really allow for the intimate connection between you and him and have things literally moving. The more passionate and fun it is, the better. So you want to kind of engage the excitement instead of making it a little bit too logical. Lilac Ocean 420. We have the Ace of Pentacles. This is usually a yes to a yes or no question, but it's also okay, for confirmation, we have the Ace of Swords. So whatever you're wanting to confirm is true. But the Ace of Pentacles is also saying, look to a healthy new beginning and or financial investment to set you off on the right path. Chad Taylor. We have the King of Wands for you, and knowing you're a Sagittarius, this is talking about the mastery of your passion and ambition expressed forth in a greater willingness to not only achieve what you want to achieve, but really tap into your own sense of desire. The King of Wands is saying you're going to really feel on top of your game, and you want to develop these qualities by being more bold and having a lot more fun being more bold. All right. Nika, how can I help what is hurting me and others? The Eight of Cups is saying you can help by walking away. Distance yourself and walk away from what you know no longer serves you and what you know you don't need in your life. Okay. This will cause disappointment, but you'll walk away what you ultimately need. Blue Moon Rising. We have the Empress for you. The Empress is definitely speaking about wealth and abundance that'll be blessing you, as well as a great level of a harvest, a personal harvest you'll be manifesting. That is definitely very called for. All right. Miss Kiki, the channeled message that I have for you is you have gained a much more considerable sense of power and self. So a lot of what you want to express now, and especially concerning your divine partner, is every time you say something or express a thought, really bring into mind that the actions you take and the work you do, you can work through that karma. Like if you go through a challenging situation, spend karma points on what you did. Like if you're doing work, it's a mode you shift into. So when you feel like you're doing the work, shift into mode where the work you're doing is working on the karma of the relationship, because you're awakening to the gift now where the physical work you do works on your spiritual karma, and it's a mode you shift into. It doesn't automatically happen. All right. The Sun card is also saying happy, happy, joy, joy, happy, happy, joy, joy, happy, happy, joy, joy. Yeah. K-Light. We have the Four of Wands, and this card wanted to come out. Whee! So you're not only going to have a lot of your wishes come true, but you're also going to feel a sense of accomplishment, a very general sense of accomplishment that will really allow and create a greater level of happiness, authentic happiness into your life. Think reunion, think satisfaction. Brianne Mendez, will I meet my life partner? Your imaginary base says no. But I did flip the deck, and I'm just joking. The Eight of Pentacles says you want to focus on work that's meaningful to you. What Saturn in your seventh will give you is a job. It's going to give you a job that you like working at, that you're going to focus on working at. So focus on doing your job, and what's going to happen is, bloop, your life partner is going to be like, damn, Brianne, I like your work, and I like you. So yeah, it's going to be awesome. Of course, Saturn will make you work for it. That's just how Saturn is. Goddess adorned, what is my spiritual gift? We have the Queen of Cups. So Goddess adorned, your spiritual gift is that you're super psychic and that you can feel empathically. The Queen of Cups is a highly psychic woman who knows how people feel from a distance, and she could apply her empathic energy to change situations, manipulate situations, soothe wounds, and to really be compassionate. Your gift is that you're super empathic and you can help people understand their deeper feelings. The chick P83, we have the star for you. So revel as you really enjoy in the greater manifestation of a lot of your gifts personally, but also as you revel in the greater manifestation of, greater and increased hope in your life, and really being in a position to feel renewed. If you found yourself in a slump, if you found yourself a bit depressed, there's going to be a sign that definitely makes you a lot less depressed about certain things you notice or may influence. It's a really great card. Okay. Hold on. Pell's Mat. We have the 10 of Cups. The 10 of Cups is talking about spiritual harmony, perfect love. If you're in a relationship or if you're single and looking, it's here for you. Don't worry about the challenges that may have led to here, but we have the Ace of Cups too. So there's a new relationship that's going to lead into a happily ever after for you. So enjoy this renewal. Ellie Rising, thank you for the donation. And we have the Tower. So your spiritual gifts and path are the path of Mars. Your spiritual gifts are to disrupt systems and to bring a healthy dose of reality and realism in these relationships. So you're in a much greater position to very powerfully shake up that which is not founded in truth. This is a very powerful card. It's also the spiritual gift to raise the kundalini of yourself and others. Larry Jacko. I have the Two of Pentacles. This is Mars in Capricorn, and it's speaking of you being in a position to be very productive. The hustling that you're doing is going to multiply your income, and you want to trust your instincts when it comes to, playing with your income and investing in multiple income streams or avenues for income, new avenues. BC. We have the Three of Cups. You're definitely going to be celebrating your accomplishments and be put in a position to really gain more strength. I think people are going to celebrate how much stronger you've become. So trust in your inner strength because you're stronger than you realize. Mary Jane, 1340. The message of guidance we have for you is the King of Cups, urging you to be more compassionate and patient. And not only patient, but to enjoy the celebration coming in for you. This is also saying that you'll deal with a compassionate figure who really can understand and counsel you in a very useful and psychological way. Oh, snap. L rising. What I need to know about soulmate going into 2018. We have the Queen of Cups. So it's saying that the deep love you have for your soulmate is actually mutually recognized. Usually, when I get the Queen of Cups for a soulmate, it's saying that soulmate has deep love for you. But it's also saying that if there's misunderstanding of feelings, you want to be quite compassionate and empathic towards how they feel. All right. D's eyes. What's in the cards moving forward with him? We have the Four of Pentacles. So any such moving forward is really just talking about consolidating stability in your life first and taking advantage of the assured material gains. But we do have the Sun after that. So there will be a lot of happiness cleared up. Bea Foles, may I please have a general reading for what the next 2 years will bring to me? Well, I won't give you a general reading, but I will pull a card if that's what you meant. I do have the Five of Pentacles. So there's going to be a lot of challenges as far as really dealing with a certain lack of resources. And this is also going to have to deal with you walking away. So you may find that in order to heal certain, alienation or lack, you have to walk away from toxic influences over the next 2 years. And after you walk away, there's a relationship that you'll finally connect with, okay? That will really be with someone who cares about you and loves you the way you love them. Kai Marie, relationship advice for me and my on and off Aries. We have the King of Swords. You don't really want to play kitty gloves with him. The King of Swords is saying be objective, and if you're going to move forward with him, be serious. Don't be emotional. Be 100% objective. Be cold. Be factual. Be logical. And that's the way you want to deal with this person for now until things are more stable, then on and off. Lisa Clay, the card that I have for you is the Five of Pentacles 2, which is saying be very mindful of certain ideas you have and certain consciousness of lack, because what's going to follow this is the Fool card, and you're going to step to a new adventure. But as you're closing off that old cycle, you want to really examine what kind of behaviors got you in this position. Not that it's your fault, but what kind of influences may be weighing you down as well. Brittany Morris, we have the King of Swords, which is usually the card of a judge or someone in law enforcement. So I think it's interesting that you got Justice card, and we have the Tower here too. So the King of Swords is going to be speaking of a lawsuit that you may have to go through. But if you deal with any legal proceedings, the Three of Cups is promising victory. All right. So you'll be all right. Italia Salinas, what's to come? What's to come when it comes to love? Will they let go of ego in return? Are they hurting? Word, love sickens me. I feel you. All right. Especially as an aqua, I feel you. So the card that I have for you is the King of Cups. Maybe this person usually reversed is lost in love. So it is indicating that there will be a maturation of emotion, and that could influence the return. But no, I don't think they may return, actually. The King of Cups is stubborn in their position, but they may resolve any ego issues. So there's that. All right. It's usually a hard no with emotions. Monique, we have the Tower. So the Tower is going to shake up things in your life, and it's going to rumble stuff in your life, and the stuff that was blocked, it's going to just bring down, and it's going to shake up because it's an instant manifestation of stuff you've wanted to manifest. All right. Marcus Lee, we have the Four of Wands for thee. And this is saying you will be celebrating your accomplishments over the next 2 weeks, especially when it comes to feeling in that divinity of your Scorpio Venus. To be or not to be, what will the Saturn Cap bring? The King of Wands, similar to my good man Chad Taylor, This is going to bring you a whole lot of charisma. The King of Wands is in charge of their creative projects, and you're going to have a lot more freedom to do stuff that makes you feel creative, all right, and powerful. Brown Brujita, self-actualization, clarity of soul mission. The Ace of Swords is going to give you your truth. The Ace of Swords is badass. It's talking about great victory, and the self-actualization will be you being this star, okay? You're going to crystallize your greatest self, and it's your own sort of truth that will show itself now, and like you'll be speaking this truth and gaining an epiphany that will definitely allow you to gain the most clarity. So it's going to just shine in front of you, and congratulations. All right. Sharon Andrea, was definitely lovely to give you this reading today. Really look forward to what good news may come about. We do have the 8 of Cups. So the 8 of Cups is saying when the opportunity allows it, when you realize that you're in a position to not necessarily wait for someone to give you the time of day when you know you deserve it. The 8 of Cups is saying you might have some disappointments, but you will be walking away. Okay. I don't get the sense that it's of anything in particular. With the transit, it's just talking about walking away from stuff you're not really bringing forward with you in the Saturn and Cap transit. Peyton Mills, we have the strength card for you, which is going to indicate increased amounts of exuberance and strength that you can bring with you moving forward to achieve and accomplish all that you desire. You are way stronger than you realize, and it's important to embrace. Patricia Barlow, we have the Knight of Swords, which is indicating the influence of someone who might have little to no patience because they rush a whole lot of things, but they're completely brilliant. And you want to really take notes on the insight that they give, because they're going to reflect a lot of what you've already known, but they will put in ways that could allow you to move a lot of things forward in your life quicker than expected. Okay. Hold on. Huh. Jules Kane, the card that I have for you is the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles is saying there is a steadier flow of income that you're going to be blessed with. But actually, when I put this with the star, this is saying that you're going to have an encounter with someone who's very well known in your field, probably a bit famous themselves, who actually, works on a project with you. It's actually speaking to a very great development. The Knight of Pentacles is just really subtle, though. So there's nothing really extravagant as much as practical, which will be definitely a lot more amazing to embrace. AMP Goddess, how to deal with authority figures. Great question. We have the moderation card. Temperance is saying with good self-control on your part and being in a position to definitely experiment. Well, there's no more experimentation, but be in a position to, allow yourself to play with both polarities. You're testing with one foot in the water and one foot out. And the Temperance card doesn't want you to do too much, but do a little bit here and there. This is actually an indirect influence that will balance out the difficulty you may have had with authority figures, although the Temperance is going to find a way to resolve differences. So the way to deal with them is to point out the differences and find ways to compromise. Temperance is all about compromising, okay? So instead of just, disagreeing, find ways to meet in the middle. Danielle Love, any stellar news for me? And with Saturn and Cap, we do have the King of Cups. This could be a very deeply emotional individual who really wants to get to know you on a better level. We even have the 6 of Swords. So any stellar news as such is indicating that you'll be sailing towards a positive future and things will be getting brighter for you. All right. Gwendolyn, when is the bank going to process the IBO? The Justice card is saying, are there any decisions or contracts that have to be signed? Once certain paperwork, especially behind the scenes, is done, then you'll see this come to fruition. This is basically an assuredness that, this will happen, but it's not giving me specifics. It's really just more saying once the necessary paperwork has been signed, you'll see the bank go to process, which I mean, I could see honestly happening once Mercury goes direct at the end of the week and finishing through the shadow period over the next couple weeks. Davis Starlight, can you pull a card for my new job? We have the Ace of Swords. This is going to be a job where a lot of people come into the truth by what you tell them. You're going to speak your truth in this job. It's going to be a very successful job for you where you're going to have a lot of great victory. There's a lot of positivity for this. So this is really great. Okay. Mindful Robot, how to harness increasing pressure. Interestingly enough, we have the Tower. So it's saying that the increasing pressure will build and then so the way to harness it is to really anticipate the unexpected and to allow you to just surrender to the blow. But after that, we do have the Page of Cups. All right, let me make sure I don't get the Empress here. This could be an unexpected pregnancy, but it's really just saying to allow it to build and then come down, and don't really suppress it. Let the pressure build until it strikes out. Aziza Jewelry, thank you very much for the donation. We have the Queen of Swords, which is saying any focus you have on your own to really focus on your independent projects and goals will allow you to, sharpen your mind and intellect. But it's saying you may make good friends with the Libra. It's talking about a new friend too, a Queen of Swords who's very intelligent and will definitely give you some of the greatest conversations you've ever had in your entire life. Embrace the bliss, everybody. Thank you very much for stepping in to this Saturn and Capricorn transit, and know that anything you commit to do will reach full realization as you initialize self-actualization. Peyton Mills. How true is this love between Tori and I? Once again, I don't necessarily do repeats of cards. I only do for one, but I do have the 10 of Swords, so it's probably not true at all. And definitely know it won't get any worse than this, and you can move on. Should you have to, unless you're already together, then this could really take on different contexts, but there might be some sort of letdown here. But regardless, once again, you stay blessed one and all. I hope you do the homework, and until next time,